Hi, soldiers. Now, there are plenty of books that everyone knows, right? If I tell you Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda is a good book, you can bet there's gonna be at least 6 people within the general vicinity of me that will also agree. If I say the name Sarah J. Maas in the bookstore, like at least 12 people are gonna be like, I'm Team Kale, who are you? You can't click on a booktube video without someone mentioning Clary and Jace at least once. And there are plenty of other books that people will constantly talk about because they're good and everyone knows them. But some of my favorite books happen to be books that are really underrated by people, and I don't know if that's because the more well-known books have like better marketing campaigns, or maybe if these books that I'm mentioning right now, maybe there's like some commentary on society inside that like goes over people's heads. Regardless of the reason, I really want to push some of these books upon all of you, so you can go check them out yourself in case you get bored of the same 8 books being recommended to you on book-related websites. The first book I want to talk about is The Program by Suzanne Young. This is a very serious topic, so I understand why people are iffy to pick it up because this has to do about teen suicide. However, it's in a slightly futuristic world where if a teen has suicidal tendencies, they can go to something called the program and basically get their brain rewritten so that they're not sad and not suicidal anymore. So it's not the happiest topic to read about, but it's a really good commentary on how we deal with teen depression and teen suicide in a way that I didn't think of before I read this. And in this book, our main character's boyfriend ends up going into the program, and it's all of the things that she has to deal with when he goes and when he comes back. And it's very interesting to see how she thinks of it in this like normal way, like suicide is normal, and it's weird and it's scary. Then we have a fantastic fantasy that no one seems to talk about. If you liked Hunger Games, you are going to love Court of Fives by Kate Elliott. Our main female character is a badass girl that is going to compete in a tournament to win glory and riches for the kingdom, and she herself is mixed race. So within this kingdom we have prejudice, we have racism, we have some magic, and then a girl just like being a badass by herself and like going through this competition. Also having to deal with all of the prejudice against her being a female, and then also like with her male friends, and it's a very well put together book. It's fast paced, it's very interesting, there's a couple of really like inducing scenes, but this is so good. I don't know why no one talks about this, because this came out at a time when everyone was like gaga over the Hunger Games and they didn't know what else to read. Read this! Then we have one of my favorite underrated books, and this was a book that I did not read for a long time until my friend talked me into it, and that is The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I'm not much of a sci-fi person, but this book is so engrossing. You are just pulled into this intergalactic plot between families for power and vengeance, and it's so cool. They have these things called diabolics, which are like genetically modified humans to act as protectors, and the main character is one of the diabolics, so it's really interesting to see her perspective because she's not human. So watching her do all these things is really interesting to see like how she thinks about it and how she thinks of other people. It's fast-paced, it's bombastic, we got a lot of intricacies and political details, and then some really heartbreaking plot twists. Hot damn, this woman could write plot twists, just super good. Please pick this up. Who wants another fantasy? Let's talk about The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. This book really impressed me with the maturity of the writing, all considered that the 2 main characters are teenagers. They had a very good voice about them, and they weren't these impulsive, whiny teenagers that like didn't know what they were doing and needed help every step of the way. These people like know what they're doing, and they are resourceful as all hell. We got magicians, and we got magic, and we got time travel, and then we have like the butterfly effect and a person that's trying to find artifacts throughout time and accidentally gets herself trapped in a timeline. It's so cool! No one knows about this because I think it's kind of weird. So like they didn't really know how to market it properly. But this cover is amazing. It's 2 Ouroboroses. Ouroboros? Let's go back to another contemporary, and this is one of my favorite contemporaries that really surprised me. It came out of nowhere. That is Girl Out of Water by Laura Silverman. The family dynamics in this book were what made it so wonderful, and you don't really have family dynamics in a lot of teen YA books, so it's really good to read about. This main character moves from California to some middle of nowhere state in the US to take care of her younger cousins after her aunt gets into a car accident, and so she has to leave everything she's ever known and all of her friends, and she's like really fed up with having to go to this middle of nowhere place and take care of kids who she's like not into, but then as she's there she kind of like learns the meaning of family, and then there's a cute boy and his name's Lincoln, and he's a black boy that has one arm and skateboards, and he's super cool, and he's one of the most interesting love interests I've ever read. And now it's summer, so all I want to read is fun contemporary, so if that is also you, make sure to pick this up. And lastly, one of my favorite books of all time is a book that is severely underrated. I immediately made all of my friends read it so that I could finally discuss it with somebody, because that is The Falconer by Elizabeth May. Everyone here knows that I love my creepy fairy books, and this is just, it's just brilliant. We got 1884 Edinburgh, and it's about a girl who is not a fairy herself, but kills fairies by training under another fairy to get vengeance on her mother who was killed by a fairy. And it's just a bunch of stuff about how, like, this curse is ending and we need to, like, save everybody. But then there's fairies, and she's kind of in love with, like, the hot fairy dude, even though he's very stoic and wonderful, and he's, oh my god, this book has so many twists, and there's so many small things in the fae world that are both explained and not, and the sequels are just incredible, and it really, like, gets into your psyche in a way that I love, because I love creepy fairies because they're not human. And in this book you can definitely tell the people who are not fully human. It's just wonderfully written, it's a great adventure story, and the main character also looks like me, so I might be like a little bit biased. So there you go, there was my, how many was that, 6, 7? Something or other books that are severely underrated and that I think you should go check out right now. I also just realized how low this V is. Is this gonna get demonetized? Ha! Joke's on me, I'm not monetized anyway. Please leave down below if you have comments or questions or concerns. I mean, have any of you read these books? What did you think of them? Name your favorite underrated YA book in the comments below, and I can't, like, guarantee you I'll check it out because my TBR pile is, like, off the shelf right now, but you know, maybe future Rachel will go read it. You know where to click to like the video, you know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!